And what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It is your boy Cheap Loots. Shout out to everybody who came and hung out on the Twitch stream in either of the last like 3-4 days. I think I've been live like a bunch of days in a row, and I haven't been uploading as much content because of it. But here I am to talk about the market. So I've done a few market videos over the last couple days because I think, in my opinion, this is the first like true for lack of a better term, market event that we've seen in 2K22. My team, I know I had a lot of people ask me, like, when are you should do more market stuff? Like, why aren't you dropping as much market content? Honestly, because the market in 2K22 has been pretty stagnant. Like, nothing really has changed. We haven't had a big market crash. We really haven't had anything like, I can drop videos every single week that says that we have a market crash on Thursday, but it's just not the case. You know what I mean? So let's talk about XP first things first. We got some pretty normal stuff, Weekend Warrior. We got the moments that are still active right now. What I would recommend for these is if you do plan on doing these basketballs, keep them. Do not sell them because they do drop in packs, by the way, every single one of them. The at least as far as the jack-o'-lantern and the mummy ball, definitely both drop in packs. I'm guessing the Halloween eyeball does too. I don't see why this would be the only one that doesn't. If you have any of these balls, like extra ones, I recommend keeping them. Like as you can see in my auctions, like I have a bunch of stuff here. But in my auctions, I'm keeping additional versions of these balls because they're only going to be available this weekend. I'm not saying they're going to go for 50k MT because they're probably not, and they don't lock in for anything as far as I'm aware. But my guess is their price they're going to raise later. I mean, think about the ornament balls from last year. Like the ornament balls raised up in price. See, they don't lock in for anything, but you could sell it right now if you wanted. That dude tried to get 20,000 for like 1,500 or 2,000, but I think you're better off just holding on to these. Look, a bunch of people are going to get the game for Christmas, for instance, and these balls are cool. Like these basketballs are cool. The jack-o'-lantern ball is cool. The mummy ball, the eyeball is obviously sick. Like, you know what I mean? They're going to want these basketballs. So for that reason, especially the eyeball, if you have the eyeball, definitely hold on to it. It's going to cost a lot of MT. That's I would go for them. I mean, I know you got to play 3 unlimited games, and that like sucks, but it's definitely worthwhile in my opinion. Anyway, other than that, we got our week 1 part 3 stuff. If you haven't gone and gotten that draft token, which I still haven't done because I have to win 4 games using Dunktober players, 3 Dunktober players, and I just haven't wanted to do it. I mean, in theory, I guess I could just do triple threat and be done with it pretty quick, but I don't know. I haven't wanted to do that, like in any way, shape, or form. So, in addition to that, we also got our limited warm up where you do get gold Joakim Noah. Honestly, he is sick. I haven't done this challenge yet. I'll do it tomorrow. But as far as gold centers, you could lower overall cheese TTO with this gold Joakim Noah so easily. He will absolutely demolish any gold center that 2K puts forth. If you run like an all gold squad of like Dennis Smith Jr., Corey Kispert, or Joe Ingles and Joakim Noah, you literally will not lose a single game on current gen. I promise. We also got the Alter Ego Challenge. It's on Pro, which is actually pretty cool. I hope they keep doing this. Just score 30 points with a player. Look, the idea here, if you're looking for any help in regards to this challenge specifically, would be to look at the Alter Ego set. I mean, the starting lineup is probably going to be like Rip, Kevin Durant, Dolph Chase at center, I'm guessing, Jason Terry, right? And maybe like Karolinko or something. Your best bet would be to like attack Jason Terry. He's going to be the worst defender out of all of them. So you're going to want to probably score 30 points with your point guard. That's just my suggestion if you're having trouble. That's up to you though. I mean, looking at the players themselves, like the Alter Ego players, look, right off the bat, if you have any of these masked versions, they're going for a lot more and they're really not worth it. Like there's absolutely no difference between this Harrison Barnes and this one, aside from blinders, literally. Like, is it gold blinders? I think it is. Which, I mean, is helpful, yes, to a certain extent, but how helpful really is it? It's not really that helpful in the grand scheme of things. It's nice that he has it, but it's not worth spending, for instance, 5,000 more MT on this Harrison Barnes card. You know what I mean? I have the masked version of Kenyon Martin, which is no different. I don't know. I feel like he plays better defense. I don't know what it is. I just feel like he plays better defense. Everything's the same. It's just a mental thing. Ilgauskas, etc. I sold off all the rest of them. If you have any of these cards that are masked, they're incredibly hard to pull from packs, so sell them now. Look, I promise this Russell Westbrook does not need gold blinders. Like, I promise he doesn't need gold blinders at all. You should sell them right now and get like 13,000. And then if you really want a Ruby Westbrook, you can go pick this one up for like 2,000 MT. They're the same card. Everything is the same. Literally the same. And that goes for LeBron, that goes for Derrick Rose, that goes for Lambeer, it's actually kind of helpful to have blinders because of how horrendous his jump shot is. I personally green it, but I know that it's pretty trash. Chris Paul having such a slow jump shot. Kyrie, I guess, but I mean, it is what it is. Now, looking at the Ruby guys, I wanted to touch on these cards for a second. They're all really cheap. Even LeBron is really cheap. LeBron's not the greatest, but he's an okay Ruby 4. Like, I've never been a big LeBron fan personally, but if you like LeBron, this is a very solid LeBron that you can pull for like 3,000, 4,000 MT at the absolute most. You can get him as low as like 2,500. This Derrick Rose is an absolutely demonic presence at the Ruby tier. I'm not even kidding. Like, he is so incredibly good. It's stupid. I know there's a lot of talk about him basically being the same as the Diamond one, and I mean, there is some truth to that. He is about 80% of the Diamond one. If we're looking at the other like Ruby point guard options, like, he's better than Mo Williams. He's honestly better than Damian Lillard. Like, he is. Damian Lillard's obviously a better 3-point shooter, but Derrick Rose is better at every other thing than Damian. He is so fast too. Russell Westbrook is similar to Derrick Rose. He's a little bit better defensively, but Derrick Rose can crack the open three. Russ really cannot. Calderon is really tight, but it's a different play style. But when you look at the rest of these guys, none of these cards, outside of maybe a badged up Mo Cheeks, can hold this Derrick Rose. Like, I'm not even kidding. He's got a 93 speed. He will boom on everybody. Look, if you don't believe me, go play a triple threat offline with Derrick Rose as your point guard. Make sure you have an all Ruby lineup so that you match up with all Rubies and you get like a Ruby guard that plays against him. Tell me any Ruby can stand up to this Derrick Rose when you're attacking the basket, especially if you're on current gen. If you're on next gen, I mean, pretty much every single CPU player plays like they have Hall of Fame clamps, so it's really not that different. But when it comes to D-Rose, my word. LeBron's fun too. Like, he's a fun card. I mean, I have a holographic version. I'm at the point when it comes to holographic cards that I just don't even know what to sell them for. Like, I have to try to look for another holographic card and then put it up for like slightly less than that holographic card. And with holo cards, you know, having so many XP challenges, I think it's often just a better idea for me to keep them. I think I have like a holo Horton Tucker. I've been getting a lot more holo cards recently, which is weird. I got a holo LeBron. I just want to keep him. He's black and white. It looks kind of sick, and I hate LeBron, so you guys should know that it looks tight. Now, looking at the Amethyst, guys, I know I kind of covered these already in a separate video, but impressions are important, and I've been playing all weekend. Chris Paul, basically the same as the Diamond version. Really solid, just a slow jump shot. He has a headband on, which is super tight. Bill Lambeer is fire. If he had a different jump shot, he'd literally be my backup center. He has Hall of Fame set shooter, which just makes a lot of sense. He's probably the only one outside of a couple of the top tier guys that I'd be like, yeah, the masked version is better because his jump shot is so slow and hard to time that blinders is almost a necessity. Kyrie's Kyrie. He is basically the exact same as the token reward one. If you're deciding between if you want to spend like the 8,000 MT or the what is it, 60 tokens, or is it 30? I can't remember. Let me double check so I can provide accurate information. 60 tokens or 8,000 MT. I personally would just sell 8,000 MT is probably what I would do. I would just buy the Amethyst Kyrie. Plus he's an Amethyst, so it takes your gem tier down a little bit. It's a smarter call. When it comes to the diamonds, Andre Kirilenko is fire. Yes, he is heat. He has base 29, which is really solid, but he's not worth 100K. I promise he's not. That being said, if you're someone who has Kevin Durant, I honestly would suggest, especially if you're someone who has like Kevin Durant, Glenn Robinson, and Melo, I would suggest selling your Kevin Durant and just picking up Andre Kirilenko if you really need another wing. That's just my suggestion. And if you're someone who's competitive level, like 250K qualifying adjacent, A, why are you watching this channel and getting tips from me? And B, you don't need my help. Alonzo Mourning is actually not bad. Like, I've heard absolutely nobody talk about this card this entire weekend. You know, he's basically been passed over the entire weekend. But Alonzo Mourning is really solid. Once again, the master version is completely unnecessary. Alonzo Mourning has an okay enough jump shot, and he's not shooting any threes. So you do not need the master version. He's got a 73 pointer, which isn't terrible. I mean, you throw some shoes on him, get a floor general out there with a coach, he can hit, but you're not going to be chucking with him. But he moves so well. Like this card, he moves significantly better than the Marcus Aldridge. I can tell you that with the utmost certainty. He moves better than Dikembe as well. He's, I would say, one of the best defensive centers in the game, outside of maybe Diamond DeAndre Jordan, who's like a ridiculous interior presence. Outside of him and maybe Bill Laimbeer, like Alonzo Mourning is one of the best defensive centers in the game. He is incredible. If you're willing to take the hit on offense, you can pick up a guy like Alonzo Mourning and he'll hold down people like AD, no question. Like this card is that good. And for like 15K, Jason Terry. I've talked about this a little bit too. The unmasked version of Jason Terry is actually better than the masked version of Jason Terry. I know he doesn't have blinders, but if you look at the unmasked version of Jason Terry, I want to put this out there so more people can see it. Oh, they nerfed his tendencies. Oh wait, that's his attributes. I'm sorry. Yeah, unmasked version has a 90 pass intercept, 96 on ball, 90 contest, 80 block shot with 10, 10, and 10. This man has end-game tendencies. I actually looked it up. He has the same tendencies as his Opal from last year. So I believe the Gauntlet Spotlight Sims one, same tendencies. So they basically just copy-pasted. But if you look at the masked version of this card, he actually has what his real tendencies were supposed to be, which is 85 pass intercept, still good. 80 on ball steal, 15 shot contest, 15 block shot. Foul tendency is still the same at 10. But the unmasked version, you're trading off the blinders, but you are getting literally, he's going to contest everything. Jason Terry is legitimately a top point guard in this game, and he's 40K. If you're somebody who wants a shoot first point guard, go get Jason Terry. Don't sit there and spend that much on Steph. Jason Terry, I promise, is right there. He's got base 22 too, so he's going to make some of the most whites in the entire game. If I didn't love Louis Dampierre so much, I would literally go pick up Jason Terry right now. But I enjoy Louis Dampierre a little bit too much. Dolph Schayes is the complete opposite. I talked about that as well. His masked version has significantly better tendencies, like significantly better. Yeah, he's up there like 93, 88, 95, 95. Yeah. And then if you look at his shot three tendency, I think all this stuff is basically the same. Shot three tendency is definitely something you have to look at though, because that'll basically determine how much the CPU will defend a 3-point shot, essentially. Yeah, he's got an 80 shot three, so people are going to play tough defense on him regardless. This Dolph Schayes has like very not good tendencies. I know very not good is not exactly the best term, but the tendencies he has aren't very good. Meh. My point is, stop paying this much for Dolph Schayes, bro. Let him go be like 100K so I can have him. Just quit being a hater. Looking at some of the other cards, we were already starting to see the market kind of rebound a little bit. Dikembe's back over 100K, I believe. Same with Isaiah Thomas. He's not much over 100K, so if you invested in him, now's not a good time to sell. IT is 100K. I don't understand why people hate IT so much. Like, why is his price falling? Jason Terry is really good, though, so that could actually have something to do with it. I would rather pay 34K for Jason Terry than 100K for Isaiah Thomas, personally. Anthony Davis, it would appear, just looking at this, a cursory glance would say to you, oh, his price has been really affected by that TTO event. No, it really hasn't. Like, his price hasn't been. Look at how many there are. There's like no ADs. There is just none. His price went down this low when all the new cards came out. The only reason his price is low is because of Dolph Schayes. Like, that's why his price is low. Nobody is getting AD from the TTO event. Derrick Rose, look. There is 34 gold badges on this Derrick Rose. Why did you do this? This makes no sense. This is why you don't want to badge cards up too big at the beginning. No, it's not worth it. It's never worth it to badge cards up that hard. Kawhi Leonard, I wanted to touch on him. He is still, in a very sneaky way, one of the best amethysts in this game. And for whatever reason, people have given up on him completely. He's still really, really good, and I would still use him if I didn't have Melo. Like, legitimately, still fire. Scottie Pippen is still heat as a budget card as well. Like, this card is still really good. Jay Crowder is my boy. Obviously, I've talked about him ad nauseum. These cards are cheap. I kind of talked about them. Elgin Baylor was a buyout yesterday. He still is, which is wild. Elgin Baylor is nasty. Like, it's actually kind of crazy he's a buyout. Is it worth spending 92K? No. Grant Hill is not a buyout. He's not even like a meta card. Oh, look at that. We finally got some Grant Hills in the mix. This person put 40 gold badges on their Grant Hill. My man was trying to qualify so hard. Who knows? Maybe he did it. Rick Barry's still terrible and also still over 20K for some reason. I don't know what's wrong with you guys. Tobias Harris is really cheap as well. He's a really, really good spread the floor wing option if you want to go that route. He's decent. He can play the power forward a little bit better than small forward. He doesn't really have the speed for that, but he's not terrible. By the way, Chris Bosh, still really good. There's one up, but if you have him, how much is my boy Monte? The audacity. All right, Chris Paul has got to be cheap. So Chris Paul we got is like essentially the same. All right, looking at some other cards, like Drew Holiday is still absurdly expensive. Like, I know he's only like 24, 23K. But that's still too expensive for Drew Holiday. I like this card a lot. He's still my starting point guard. I prefer him over Dejounte Murray. Wait, how did I just say that? I'm just going to say Murray. I don't even care. Chris Middleton, still an excellent 3-and-D guy. If you're looking to pick up Jimmy Butler, he's basically like buyout price at this point because he's on the second board. He's like not very expensive and he's decent. Everyone should have RJ Barrett. I'm not kidding. I still have Bradley Beal. How much is Bradley Beal going for? I didn't realize I still had this card. 11K? Yeah, I should probably sell him, huh? Everyone should have Landry Fields by now. If you're watching this channel, you should have Landry Fields. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Marvin Bagley's trash. I'll be the first to say it. If you're looking for an elite point guard that's... If he ever drops, though, his price is so expensive. You know what? I would say 14K for Murray is a good price. Like, that's a solid enough price. Obviously, I wish he was like 6K, but that's a solid price for him. Dinwiddie's still a really good point guard as well. Miles Bridges is just so expensive, but he's really good. Belinka, my boy. If you're looking for like half of what Dolph Shays brings you, Miles Turner, though he's way too expensive right now. I don't know what's going on with him. Looking at some of the other stuff, like nothing else is really up in price right now. Like, don't sell any diamond contracts right now, by the way. They're super low. It's only like 20K for a diamond contract. Give it a month or two and they'll be back down this low again. But in the next few weeks, they'll shoot up. If you're thinking about selling diamond contracts, wait for the first wave of opals to come out. Or, wait for the level 40 reward when people start buying up all the contracts and stuff like that. That's when you're going to get the most bang for your buck, for sure. Also, never stop trying to snipe badges. People just, for whatever reason, consistently just keep putting up badges for 400 MT. I don't know what's going on here. Like, pickpocket. No matter what, if you purchase like Rise Up for 350 or like Rebound Chaser, for instance, like, I'm not saying you're going to get 2000 MT for these badges, but eventually they are going to go up to at least the 800-900 MT, range, somewhere around there. And you can definitely profit off of those. Like 350 for Worm, I guarantee I'll be able to sell Worm for 500 at the very least. Special delivery, triple threat juke, like, I'm not saying I'm going to make a bunch of MT off of these, but I'll at the very least make some. So, as always, it's been your boy Cheap Ludes. Happy Halloween weekend for everybody. Check out the Twitch. I'm going to be live later. At some point, I'm going to take a day off from live streaming. I just don't know when I'm going to do that, but at some point I will. Like the video. Check out all the rest of the content I dropped. If you're not following the Twitch, go do that already. And have a good weekend, man. Stay safe. For real, because Halloween is like real sketchy and cops love to like fuck with people on Halloween. So like, stay safe for real. Watch out for them.